Good morning. Good morning. Hi. Um, just waiting to see if. Oh, looks like I've got 7 people on already. Things have moved around on Streamyard, so I'm expecting things to be over there and they're over here. So, all right. Hi, everyone. Happy Christmas. Oh, hi, Lynn. Hi, Sandy. Great to see you. It is delicious, Sandy, and yeah, you're going to love it. All right, so Merry Christmas to everyone. It is Christmas Eve morning here in Australia, and it's cooled down. I don't know, some of you will remember we had 42 degrees, which is over 100 2 days ago or 3 days ago, whenever it was. And it was a shocker, an absolute shocker. And today we're down in the low 20s again, and we've got clouds. And the reason I could looking out that way is because that's out through our side door. And you can see that it's overcast and it's very pleasant this morning. So we're happy. I've got my Christmas cheer on. Look, I've got my little reindeer happening. Who's that? Sarah. G'day, Sarah. And hi, Annette. Good to see you. All right, so we've been taken over by a tornado in the form of my daughter, who has been here for the last 2 days. And everywhere that I look, I can see Lauren absolutely everywhere. I've managed to get rid of them. Richard and Lauren have gone to the beach. It's just gone 7 o'clock in the morning here on Christmas Eve. But everywhere I look, I see Lauren everywhere. So this is the state of my kitchen at the moment. We've got Lauren's stuff there. We've got Lauren's stuff down there. We've got Lauren's stuff over there. Look, she's taken over my table. We've even got a block of chocolate up on the windowsill there. I'm hoping that's going to be left for us. that's her compensation for taking over our house. And this is our Christmas tree. So you all know that we've been going very minimal. Hi, Ronnie Lynn. Hi, Tariq. We've been going minimal, but we have been for the last couple of years now. And that there is our Christmas tree. It's not plugged in. She's unplugged it so that she could use a mixing machine last night to make her little dessert. So otherwise, I'd put the lights on for you. And I was going to have Christmas songs going in the background, but I was a little bit disorganized trying to get them out the door this morning. Hi, Julianne. Good morning. And yeah, thanks, Julianne. I really appreciate the little message I got this morning. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah, it's a macrame Christmas tree that I made a couple of years ago, but that's all we've got. That's all this we've got space for in our place. I don't have space for a proper tree in our place. Okay, all right. So we're making Mangomisu. And what's Mangomisu? Well, first of all, it is we take out the coffee of a tiramisu and we replace it with orange and mango. We've had it before. The main reason why I made it the first time around was because Richard's niece hates coffee. So I wanted to make something that everyone could enjoy, and that's why we went with mangoes. Yesterday, Lauren and I went to our local farmers market. It wasn't really a farmers market. It's one of those fruit and veg shops that does everything. And we got a tray of mangoes there. There we go. Tray of mangoes for $20. This recipe uses 3, so we're going to have to try and think of other ways to use mangoes. So they are beautiful. They're called Kensington Pride mangoes. Oh, and they smell absolutely amazing. And do you know what? I'm so tempted to take you up the driveway and show you Lauren's mango treat, but maybe we'll do that right at the end. Let's get started on this. So I've got some of my ingredients ready, and we've got the main thing is the savoiardi or ladyfinger biscuits. So we need those. I'll tell you a story about the Grand Marnier. The recipe uses Grand Marnier liqueur. And I went to the liquor shop. Mangoes grown in Australia. Lynn, look out our window. Look here, look here. That's the neighbour's tree next door. Did you see them? Did you see the mango up there? We actually lopped, like Lauren got up on the roof and lopped the branches that are going over our roof here. And we got a milk crate full of green mangoes. And our neighbour, who lives in Lauren's house at the front of the block, has invited us for lunch today. She is going to make us a mango curry with all the green mangoes that we got off the tree when they lopped the branches. So, but at the end, I'm going to take you up the front and show you Lauren's mango tree, which is in the front house. It is absolutely laden with mangoes. Anyway, I was at the bottle shop trying to buy Grand Marnier. I wanted to buy a bottle of Grand Marnier for this recipe, and they didn't have the big bottle. So this is what I've ended up with for this recipe today. We've got the 3 little ones. So that's going in the Mangomisu. And then we've got things like icing sugar. I'm going to do 2 portions. Where is it? There we go. Got 2 dishes there laid out. I'm going to do 2 portions. One will be for us for dessert tonight. The other one is going to go down to my mother's place tomorrow for lunch. And then we've got things like mascarpone cheese, which is what the custard filling is made with, is mascarpone cheese. Now, for my tiramisu, I usually use a smaller container than this. This recipe is asking actually for double what I normally use. So we're actually going to wing the quantities a little bit. And this one uses thickened cream. I don't usually put that in my tiramisu, but we're going to follow the recipe as closely as possible. Juice of 2 oranges. Well, I've got orange juice. I thought I've already got that in the fridge. I wasn't going to go out and buy oranges especially. Green mango salad is a treat. I've never tried it. Mango lassi, yes, Tariq, we'll make mango lassi. So we're going to be having lots of mangoes over the next few days. But $20 for a box is such a good price for mangoes, because if you're buying them individually, I don't know, you might get like 2 for $5 or something like that. So buying them this way, I've just got to make sure I use them. All right, so let's try and set you up in a position where you can see what I'm doing. I'm really struggling with the space in the kitchen this morning. So let's see where you are going to go in relation to me, because I need to have access to that PowerPoint for my mixing. And it's all going to get a little bit chaotic, but I don't want to put you on the dish rack, because I think you might fall off if I put you there. Yeah, that doesn't look very stable, or does it? What does Annette say? I like your little liquor bottles. I should have had a shelf of those on the trolley in the guest room. All right, okay. I think that'll work. I actually think that might work. And is that the right way around? No, that's the problem. All right, you don't need to read anything. I've already showed you around the ingredients. So let's get started. We're going to have as many of the little ladyfinger or savoiardi biscuits as will sponge fingers, as will fill our tray. So I'll get them all out. And I'm going to be making a tiramisu on Boxing Day for my brother's Christmas. But we're going to be so hectic over there. We're staying the night at their place. I don't want to take over Lorna's kitchen and live stream from there as well. So we'll have to come back and do tiramisu another time. All right, so let's get the ladyfinger or savoiardi biscuits open, and we'll put a layer of those across the bottom. I'm just trying to check what you can actually see. It looks okay. So this is what the ladyfinger biscuits, for anyone who doesn't know, that's what they look like. And if I break one open, you can see it's very, very light and airy in the middle. And we're going to actually put the orange juice and Grand Marnier over the top of those. Although thinking about it, I probably should dunk them. I'm going to change of plan, guys. I'm actually going to make up my orange juice and Grand Marnier to start with in a bowl, and we'll dunk we'll dunk the ladyfinger biscuits rather than splashing them. So I'm going to need my orange juice. I'm going to use about half a cup of orange juice. Put that in there. And excuse me. Then we need our little bottles of Grand Marnier. I need to try and think of what I can do with the little bottles afterwards. But glug, 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 3 of those into the... Now, the tiramisu part of this would be a mixture of coffee and kahlua is what I would normally use for tiramisu. I think in Italy they tend to use brandy, but I've changed up mine, and I use kahlua. Just give that a little stir, make sure it's all mixed in. And then we're going to just dip the sponge fingers like that. They just need a quick dunk. You don't want them too sloppy when you're actually having the dessert later. Just they will soak up the juice and the liqueur, but you don't want it to be too mushy and sloppy. So that's one, and then we'll do the other one. Oh, they're getting over anxious, these sponge fingers. Oh, they're raring to go. Okay. That. I need to get to your comments. I'm missing out on what you're all saying. Okay, so that's the bottom layer done. Let me just wash my hands. So I'll put that aside for the next layer. So we're going to be layering. We're layering up the custard with the sponge finger biscuits. Okay, now, and it says you could fill little bottles with fragrance oil and sticks. Yeah, you could do that. Okay, now I'm going to need to make some noise when I mix up the custard. This ancient mixer I have. There we go. And is that turned on? Is it plugged in? Yes, it's turned on. Sorry if I look a little bit disorganized this morning, guys. It's been a bit hectic here this morning. We got a phone call from our other daughter this morning at 6 o'clock this morning. She and her fiance can't make it because he's very sick. He woke up this morning or overnight. He had a very severe case of some kind of influenza. He's been throwing up and had fever and all sorts of things. So they were supposed to arrive here tonight. And now he's not going to make it, or they're not going to make it, so they're not going to make it to Mum's and Dad's tomorrow for Christmas either, which is a real shame. But, you know, first of all, we don't want them sharing that bug with my elderly parents. And secondly, it's better that they don't drive hours and hours and hours because they live about 4 hours away from us to get here. Better that they stay home and rest and get well. Yeah, and the danger is that Natalie's going to end up with that as well. Annette says they won't be as posh as the store-bought ones, but at least people will know you're a good time. Okay, yes, I see. Did I see Michaela turn up? Someone said, oh, hi, Michaela, there you are. Hello. And Fröhliche Weihnachten. And Sarah, hi, Michaela. Everyone say hi, Michaela. Okay, good. All right, so Michaela, all you've missed is I dunked my ladyfinger, sponge finger biscuits, savoiardi, in a mixture of Grand Marnier and orange juice. And here's our tray of mangoes over here. So that's all you've really missed at the moment. And I'm about to make the custard, which is the next layer. So we need, I will use all of it. As I said, the recipe calls for 500 grams, which seems like a lot. I'm using three quarters of that, which is 375. And it's just easier if I use the whole tub as well. Just need to get this plastic layer off the top. And the store that we went to yesterday, it's a bit more expensive than I would normally like to use for, general shopping. But they do some amazing produce. It's called Harris Farm Markets. And what am I looking for? Here we go. So I'm just going to empty this into a mixing bowl now. And they have fresh bread, sourdough bread. They have beautiful cheeses. I got Norwegian smoked salmon from there yesterday. And the reason I got a Norwegian one rather than a Tasmanian one is that our Tasmanian salmon industry is pretty awful fishing industry, and I don't support it. So I would prefer, although I don't like to buy something that's come so far in terms of food miles, I would prefer to support Canadian or Norwegian, anything where I think that the industry is more responsible. Okay, thickened cream. Again, that's not used in tiramisu, and the amount that the recipe asks for is 600 mils, all of that. I'm not confident I need to use all of that. I think that's probably a lot. I'm only going to use half of it. So that all goes in. Okay. There we go. That's our thickened cream. And I'll get that quickly back into the fridge rather than letting it sit around. It's not as hot as it was a couple of days ago, but it's still quite warm. All right. So, what did I miss? Yeah, mascarpone. Now, Ronnie Lynn, what do you use mascarpone for? I'm not familiar with thickened cream. Yeah, I'm not sure what they add to it to make it. It's not pouring cream. It's and it's better for whipping. So when you get your you mixer, your hand mixer, and whip it, it actually whips better than or easier than pouring cream. Okay, so that's a third of a cup of icing sugar. And the recipe asks for 2 egg yolks. I'm not going to bother separating the egg yolks from the egg whites. What I normally do in my tiramisu is I separate the eggs from the egg yolks and I whip the egg whites and add the whipped egg whites to the custard, so it makes it light and fluffy. But if they're going to try and get me to separate the egg whites and then not use them, I don't see the point in that. I'm just going to add whole eggs. Now, I know that you guys in the US don't eat raw eggs, or well, that's my impression. I'm pretty sure that's the case. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Here in Australia, that's not an issue. It's okay to use raw eggs. And basically that's the basis for a mascarpone custard. So that's going to go in. And now I'll just quickly mix that. So you're going to get some noise for a bit. So excuse me while I make a little bit of noise. Oh, I did miss something. There's something in the recipe about a vanilla bean. I haven't got a vanilla bean. I have vanilla extract, so we'll just use a little bit of vanilla extract. I'll use just a capful, which is about a teaspoon of vanilla extract. That goes in. All right, now it's going to be noisy for a minute, guys. Just give me not too long. Turn the speed up so that it can get a little bit of air into it. That's about all it needs. Whoops. Okay. And now we just layer. It's quite porous. Now the one that I make for my tiramisu is not as runny as this. It's actually quite thick. So we're literally just going to cover the sponge fingers. I could put that in a jug and pour it over, but this is fine. Okay, so 2 portions. And then the next step will be to chop up some mango and put that over the top. There we go. All right, so now our beautiful mangoes, 3 of those. Let's just get that out of the way. Come back to those. Excuse me. All right, so beautiful Kensington mangoes. We get quite a few varieties of mangoes in Australia. The most common ones are the Kensington Pride. And actually, I've done that the wrong way. I should have peeled it. Let's see if I can rescue this. Oh, yeah, there we go. I'm going to have fun chewing on that later. There's honey gold. There's there's one called like R2D2 or something. I don't know what that's about. So there we go. We've got strips like that. Just lay that on top. And I wish I could describe the smell of these beautiful mangoes to you. Okay. I'm going to be munching on the seed and the skin after this. It's not very pretty. They're quite fibrous, these ones. So they don't slice, really and make it really pretty looking. They look a bit messy, and I've got very messy hands now. Just put that over the top like that. Spread it out a bit. Doesn't matter if it doesn't hit every surface. That's about all I can get off that. Okay, let me just wash my hands again. I could even use an extra one, couldn't I? What's everyone saying? The oranges we are eating this Christmas are from Australia. Oh, there we go. Whoops, how do I get back there? Oh, you're describing the cream, Annette. Thank you for that. And Lynn says the oranges are from Australia. I don't remember ever seeing Australian oranges here, and I wouldn't normally want to have at many food malls, but these are different times. I agree. Yeah, you're probably not buying Californian oranges, but yes, the food miles and the storage time, because those oranges would have ripened probably at least 6 months ago. Are they navel oranges, Lynn, or different? Do they have seeds? Navel. I love the navel oranges. They're seedless. My neighbour's mandarin and blood orange trees bloom a ton this year. I've just bought a mandarin tree, and I'm hoping that that will bear fruit and be successful. I haven't made mango pie in ages. I'll have to get after that. Smell-o-vision would be awesome right now. Yeah, indeed. All right, so now we're ready for our second layer, and it's another packet. Some more dunking. So as you can see, it's really simple, and it's just rinse and repeat. So we're going to dunk some more. Get open. There we go. We're going to go dunking again. So basically what I've got here is, I think the packet was 400 grams. And we're going to be using around about 3/4 of the packet. One more in this one. Okay, get out of there. So what's everyone's plans? Like, okay, this is an Australian Christmas. It's going to be hot. Thankfully, not as hot as it was a couple of days ago. But obviously, we don't have a hot Christmas dinner, a hot Christmas lunch. Once upon a time, we used to sort of preserve those Anglo traditions and have a hot baked lunch. It just makes no sense to do that. So tell me, what's everyone else having? What are your plans for Christmas Eve or Christmas lunch? What food is on your menu today and tomorrow? Well, not today for you, tomorrow and the next day. Love to hear how you guys celebrate in terms of food, your food traditions. Alrighty, that's pretty good. And now another mango. Let me see. All right. Oh, the oranges do have seeds. Okay. Ronnie says having pot roast and mashed potatoes and butternut squash. Yum. Do you dip them in mango juice? Michaela, what I'm dipping them into is a mixture of Marnier. It's backwards, I know, but we had 3 little bottles of those, which makes half a cup in total, 150 mils in total, mixed with about the same quantity of orange juice. And that's, in a tiramisu, that would be a mixture of Kahlua or an alcohol, brandy, I think, normally in Italy, and coffee. So we replace the coffee and brandy-based or coffee-based alcohol. We replace that with the Grand Marnier, which is an orange-based liqueur, and orange juice. This one's slicing much easier. Okay, that's one side done. When we first started having mangoes, my dad loves them, but we didn't kind of discover them as an Australian family, probably because, we didn't have things shipped quite so far all the way back in the 1960s when I was a child. So we didn't really discover mangoes, I don't think, until about the 70s. And we used to joke about having to sit in the bath to eat one because they are so juicy and messy and scrumptiously delicious. All right, so that's layer 2. I should be getting my raspberries out of the freezer. I was going to make the raspberry sauce as well. So let me just wash my hands again. Okay, what is being said? Julianne says smoked fish. Did I miss anything? Sandy says I'm going to be a guest with Soul Family and unsure what she's doing exactly. Well, I hope it turns out to be a delicious menu for you, Sandy. Julianne says smoked fish and finger food tomorrow. Probably fish or pork loin. Oh, yum, yum, yum. Oh, Julianne, yum. And we've just been reliving some of those amazing Christmas markets that we visited last year. The flumlux, the salmon on the trestle above the fire at the marketplace stalls, and that on bread rolls was just delicious. And also the pork loin with crackling, yum. Okay, Annette says I'm having a thick ribeye steak, stuffing, green beans, and a butter bacon sauce, cranberry sauce. That all sounds amazing. And Sarah says turkey, roast potatoes, Brussels sprouts, stuffing, pigs in blankets, of course. Yes, lots of yummy things. Thank you for sharing that. That all sounds amazing. I wish we all could share our virtual Christmas lunches with everybody. All right, so we're ready for the third layer. So so far, what do you think? Do you think this is looking like a kind of dessert that you might not have for Christmas, but you might have at another time of year, perhaps? I'm going to go opposite direction this time. Just change it up a bit, although am I going to have enough? No, it's not going to work. I'm going to keep it the same. Okay. We're getting low on our dipping. I might have to start pouring instead of dipping. Come on, we only need 6 more. They just need to get enough on their surfaces that they will soften. They don't need to be mushy, but they do need to soften. All right, and I might just do this with what's left. Just a little bit of a drizzle over the top. At 7:30 in the morning, I'm not tempted to take a little. Yeah, no, it's not going to happen. Okay. So now the rest of the custard, and I think we can just pour the rest of this. Oh, I can hear the bottles being collected. It sounds like the garbage collection is happening out the front. Either they will. I think we have a guy that comes around our street and collects cans and bottles out of our bins and takes them to the return and earn. So you've got these machines where you can put tin cans in and get small amounts of cash back. Not quite as sophisticated as the ones that you guys have in Germany, Julianne and Michaela, but it's still it is a container deposit system, and I think we have a guy that comes around our street here checking our bins to see if he can cash in on what people are throwing out. I just heard some bottles clashing. I suspect that might have been him. Okay, there we go. That's that. And then our final mango. I'm missing comments. Hold on, let me just try and get to those. And then we're going to need to cook up a raspberry sauce, which I won't put over immediately, but I'll make it, and then we'll put it in a separate container to put over the top later. But just so that you can see the raspberry sauce, which is absolutely just exotic, the intoxicating, the intense flavors of the raspberry over top of this. Beautiful flavors. Okay, so as you can see, I'm no dessert chef. What I'm doing isn't very pretty, but I can assure you that it is going to taste amazing. So there, can you see that? Probably not very well. I'll pick up the computer and show it to you in a moment. Okay, and just the last one. Tell you what, these containers were a perfect size. I crossed my fingers and hoped that the container size would be good, and it is absolutely perfect. Okay, there we go. That's just about done. I'm going to have so much mango to eat off this seed later. Look, so much left. Okay. Alrighty, so here we are. That's where we're up to now. There we go. And what have I missed? Sandy says, I definitely want to try this someday. You're making me hungry. Of course, my spring is your fall. Yeah, that's it, exactly. And it says, do you have to make breakfast after this? No, we're just going to have a light, sort of toast or muesli breakfast this morning. We had a big breakfast yesterday, so we had bacon and eggs and everything yesterday. We don't do that every day. Okay, so that's that. Now what I'm going to do is look at the mess I've made. I normally clean up as I go, but okay, so we're going to have to make some space to make the raspberry sauce. If I put you there, and I get the raspberries out of the freezer. I sent Richard on a mission yesterday to get me some frozen raspberries, and this is 500 grams, so I need half this packet. Where's my scissors? There we go. So we need a quarter of a cup of caster sugar, half a packet of raspberries. Oh, look, someone started the lawnmower next door. Don't I always... Everywhere I go, guys, everywhere I go. If it's not the rubbish collection trucks or the council workers. All right, shutting that door. So we've got old mate next door. He's started up the whippersnipper and the lawnmower. Get that out of the way. Get all that out of the way. Sorry, just making some space. Now, quarter of a cup of caster sugar. And I also need the juice of a lemon. So let's get that started. We'll get the heat started on there. 1/4 cup of caster sugar. And the juice of a lemon, which I have the lemons in the fridge. How am I going for time? What time is it? 7:40. Okay, not doing too bad. And we'll just get this juice. And then, and that's as simple as that is for the raspberry sauce. It just has to basically all melt together and the berries reduce down. So it's a very, very simple sauce. Once I get these lemons juice, they're really hard, these lemons, really tough. I'm getting a lot of juice out of them. Okay, here's my workout for this morning. Getting this lemon juice. Okay, that's going to have to do. And something to stir it with. There we go. That's basically, it's going to take a few minutes for that to happen. So what I'm going to do is we'll leave that on. It's on about medium, and it'll be absolutely fine just while I take you up the front and show you the mango tree. And when we come back, that should be nicely melted down. All right, where's my footwear? There we go. There's that and that. Oh, look at the dog next door. Can you see him? We call him Mr. T. I don't know what his real name is because he wears a big gold chain around his neck. Just standing next to the lawnmower there. Okay. So this is Lauren's backyard before she put tenants in. Now, Lauren and Natalie struck this mango. I don't know if you can see it. I might have to go under the fence. This one they struck from seed. Okay, so we actually have spring mango trees. There's the big one that overhangs our house. You might be able to see all the mangoes that are hanging over it. This one here. Do you see that? I can't see what you're looking at. Anyway, that's the one that they struck from seed. Lauren's been contributing to the fence project up here. So she started her little bit. The laptop's connected to the house Wi-Fi, so I probably moved just enough out of range. Am I back? Am I back? Okay, am I back? Let me know if you're back. Because I'm, a bit silly, aren't I? I'm back. Thanks, Michaela. Because I'm stupid. Because you know what I did? The computer's connected to the house Wi-Fi. It's not on 4G. And I've moved too far away from the modem. Here, look, this is the haul that we got yesterday. That's from pruning just the branches that overhang our fence. Oh, I tried to take you up the front to show you the mango tree, Lauren's mango tree. So that's when I lost you. You've done that on a meeting? All right, so instead of that, I'll show you the one that overhangs the house. Here, look. So I was trying to show you Lauren's mango tree, but yeah, it's obviously just a little bit too far from the router. Ah, silly me. Oh well. Never mind. I'll take a photo. I'll take a photo and share it with you later. Let's get back to our raspberry sauce. Just called me silly. How's it looking? It's reducing beautifully. So I could actually turn that up and let it reduce nicely there. Look. Are you seeing that? Yeah, there we go. And the smell from that is just beautiful. So yeah, so we're going to go up to the little Sri Lankan family in the front house for lunch. They've invited us for lunch and they're making curry. So that's what we're doing for lunch today. Dinner, we're just going to have a very simple dinner with prawns. I've already got some prawns in the fridge and some sliced meat. So we've got our prawns here ready for tonight. And then that's Lauren made that for lunch today. So that's a caramel slice. And then we're also going to have in there we've got some sliced meats. That's for this afternoon as well. And my fridge is a bit full. So yeah. So that's us. That's us in a nutshell. All right. So Sarah says, you're not the first, you won't be the last. It's a shame. I couldn't show you the mango tree because it's just absolutely amazing. I was showing you as well is she's hung little bells that look like this. She's made up a bunch of little bells like this to hang on the mango tree to try and keep the bats away, but they're not very loud. I don't think it's going to achieve much. I don't think it's enough to keep the bats off them. But what I'm also hoping is that there is such a huge crop this year that there should be enough for us to share with the bats. That's the idea anyway. Now, has everyone seen that QR code up on the top right corner? If I've done that correctly, and I can't remember what I linked it to, StreamYard gives you the facility to actually include a link. I think I've either linked it to the calendar or to our Facebook group, and I can't remember which one I did. So yeah, it is good to share, and I'm happy to share as long as they leave some for us. Last year we didn't get any mangoes because the bats got them all. So this year we're hoping that there's enough that we can share. So I don't know. Hopefully that QR code will go somewhere useful, and it's not just defaulting to some kind of StreamYard link. I'm pretty sure I set it up correctly, so it'll go to either the calendar, the live stream events calendar of events. Then I hope you are all watching regularly, or it's going to our Facebook group. How's the sauce looking? Do you know what? I think it's just about ready to start reducing. I'm going to let that try and thicken up a little bit. So, and then of course it's going to have to cool. I'll put that in a separate container, and then when we're ready, we'll pour that over our Mangomisu. And of course, if you try this recipe, I really want you to share the results and let me know how it went. That's basically me done, I think. And I'm just going to wish everyone a very happy Christmas. And I hope that, it's been tough here. it's not only been a devastating event that we've just come out the other end of from what happened a week and a half ago in Bondi, which was absolutely devastating. And I don't think people fully understand that this is an Australian tragedy. This is our tragedy. It's affected us all, and it's been absolutely horrifying. But what's been even more horrifying has been how some people have chosen to politicise this, and our media has been a cesspit of horror, hate, and I've actually had the TV off. I haven't been watching it because it's just been so horrible the way that people are blaming our government and blaming our leader for something that was just two awful humans have perpetrated on us. Yeah, so it's been tough the last few days, and I'm just hoping that next year we can all rise above that sort of stuff. And I mean, it's probably it's wishful thinking, I know. Tariq, I'm not surprised either. To be honest, I'm really not surprised either. And I hate to say that. You know, we think that we're at the other side of the world and we're immune from everything that's going on. But at the end of the day, we're not. We're not immune. Ugly people are everywhere. Yes, Annette, it is. Yeah. Yeah, it is. All right. I will leave it there, and I'm sorry that I left this on a low note. But hopefully, you know, next year, let's all strive to be better. You know, let's all strive to be better people, humans, if we can. Let's try and contribute positively to our world, to our little worlds that surround us. And that's all we can do, really. Sandy says that's also almost always my wish, that these terrible things stop and things are better. Happy Christmas, everybody. I'm going to leave you to it. If you'd like to support me, I've left links in the pinned to the top of the chat. I don't have anything else planned at the moment except that I am continuously editing old video and trying to bring that to you again. So, yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody, and best wishes for the new year, for a positive year ahead. Yeah, let's all regroup when we've all had beautiful quality time with our families or whoever's important to us. Frau Weihnachten, Michaela, and to you and to your family as well. Okay. Bye, everybody. And thank you.